Tonight, from Detroit City Fieldhouse in Detroit, Michigan, it's MASLW action with Indiana United FC taking on Detroit City FC. Welcome to the Detroit City Fieldhouse. I'm Matt Cat, he's Steve.
Hi.
And we have a soccer match tonight in the MASLW. Detroit City FC hosts Indiana United FC. Now, we've been off a few weeks.
Oh, yeah. What happened? What happened?
The last game that we were supposed to have was a couple weeks ago, and scheduling had Detroit City FC play here against Kalamazoo United FC. That got postponed because there was a certain NFL game going down a couple miles from here at Ford Field.
Brother.
Unfortunately for the home team, the final result was not to our liking, and, well, here we go again.
And here we go again. You know what? It is very true, because 2 years ago, I was at a watch party for DCFC against Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
The game left. I was going to take an Uber home, and when I saw the Uber prices, I said, what? And I did not know. So after everybody left, and I was in the moment, I said, okay, I'm going to hike it back. And guess the reason why? Jason Aldean was playing at Ford Field.
Of course.
Holy short.
Of course.
Oh, my God. And I couldn't get a ride back. The closest affordable ride I got is the Majestic Theater, the home of indie rock and roll here in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get home until 2:30.
But, I mean, good on the club, though, to reschedule those matches.
You're right. Yeah, because traffic in and out of Detroit, they had to move the fifth game. I didn't go elsewhere after UAD, Oakland U, round one at UAD, which OU won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, my, speaking of which, as always, as a man of my word, if I could find... Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Uh-oh. We have gifts.
I bring drinks.
We bring gifts.
I bring drinks.
Oh, well, thank you.
Raspberry.
Ooh, I haven't tried this one. I haven't tried this one. So.
Let's try to wash away the pain from the Lions'
debacle. That debacle. Oh, cheers. Well, as soon as you open up, cheers to you. Cheers to you, my friend. And as we get set for another night of Detroit City FC soccer, lots going on this week as far as Detroit City FC goes.
Can we talk about the indoor games first? The women's games
first?
I
mean, there's not that much really to talk about. Detroit City is on top of the standings in the MASLW Great Lakes North Division at this point, and they
only played 2 games. We won both,
and they're undefeated. Thus far. And Indiana United FC comes in last place in the division tonight. So
how many games did they play? 3?
I think they played 2 or 3 games.
2 or 3,
so far. I mean, I did a quick glance at the MASLW schedule, which you can access via MASLW.com, or just search for MASLW on Google, and it'll show up with all the headlines and all that. And then when you do your search for Great Lakes North standings, and then it'll show you where we stand as far as that goes.
So it's really great to have the girls back.
Yep.
And here's the big question: how much rush will be there? Because we haven't played for about a month.
I don't think the layoff is going to concern me too much tonight. Mm-hmm. I think the way that Danny's got them focused as far as their, shall we say, their demure and their tenure and their their play out there. I think I expect another probably a high scoring game for Detroit City as they're involved, because they're just on fire as far as far as getting the goals inside the net. Home confines is going to help as well. So
the very lovely home confines.
Yep. I mean, the home confines here will very well help this club tonight. As we can see right now, kids are playing on the pitch before the match.
And you got a lot of history on the walls, like Mundy with their left foot, of course,
wait till we do our keyword thing. Okay, a couple of years as far as that goes.
Yeah,
But I'm high scoring game tonight. I think probably on the Detroit City side more or less than anything else.
Okay. All right.
To be honest.
By the way, tickets for the game online sold out. You could get them for the door. But if you're not going out,
you cannot get them through the door.
No, they're sold out too.
Sold out.
Totally sold out. Wow.
But you can catch that match right on Detroit City's YouTube page. the coverage will begin right around 7:30. Kickoff is just a little bit after 7:30.
And by the way, your announcer, the legend, Jared Mackey, and our first team men coach,
Or women's coach,
yeah,
Dave Dwayhe.
Dave Dwayhe. Sorry.
They'll be behind the mic tonight.
What am I thinking? I'm sorry.
Okay. Our first team men's coach, by the way, was a little bit busy this week as training camp began for the men's side.
Yes.
And with that, quite a few signings to announce.
Oh, man, yes.
First one we'll talk about is one that was previously announced, but officially was announced on Tuesday.
It was officially announced. It was
Marcelo Polisi.
Yes.
A midfielder from Velour FC comes into the fold for Detroit City FC. He not much offensive output as far as his career goes with them. He's coming off an injury. He spent the last 16 months sidelined with that injury, and he looked healthy from the initial pictures or initial video that we saw from training camp. So he looks healthy, good form, ready to go, and ready to rock and roll as far as the season goes.
Could be a great midfielder for this team, I hope. You know what I mean? If the injury bug does just show up. And by the way, Velour FC, by the way, that's Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Yep. And he also played for Halifax Wanderers.
Yes.
So a CPL standout as far as the last couple of years has been concerned as far as Polisi goes. Then the striker contingent has been satisfied. The people that have been barking for the last 3 years about us not having a striker. Tell us about our newest acquisition.
Aaron Smith from Cape Town, South Africa. Great player, great striker. He had near 10 goals from both seasons in the Finnish league. He even won the title with a penalty kick at the death, must I say.
28 goals and 72 appearances for the guy. And
I will say this right now, after reading his credentials and watching a little video, I don't want to say there could be a replacement for Maxi Rodriguez, who left the team for Royal Ion as a free agent.
Maybe as far as the goal scoring goes.
Yes,
maybe.
But I'm hopeful for this guy. You know what I mean? Either that, or I'll be like Sparky Anderson, who used to do, hoping for this guy to succeed, and then they flame out.
I don't.
But I'm hoping.
Me personally, it's a great addition to the squad, especially is going to help as far as the the forward position goes, and a great compliment to Ben Morris.
Oh yes,
Ben Morris with 10 goals last year.
Oh yeah,
along with Maxi, tied for the league or the club lead.
Oh yeah,
as that goes. So now we got more offense. That was the key here, getting more offensive firepower.
You're right,
and that's what a lot of people have been harping about, especially on the Faithful page and other means of communication throughout the Detroit City FC world.
and he's going to be here for 2 years with an option, something like that.
2 years. Actually, it's a 2-year guaranteed deal as far as.
I'm going to say this right here, right now. I would not be surprised when those 2 years he contend for the Golden Boot. Top 10 in the Golden Boot in the league. Could be. If I'm wrong, call me Sparky.
And then, looking at this signing too, he's played in the Finnish league.
Yes.
Which is parallel to what we do here in the United States as far as the spring to fall schedule. So he'll be more acclimated to that type of, shall we say, type of play in the USL Championship as opposed to the Finnish league. So it's not like the usual European seasons, which run August through May or whatever it is. And he should acclimate pretty well as far as the surroundings go. And then on, I believe it was Thursday.
Yes.
A signee. This time we went into the depths of USL League One to get this one a former player, and he became a standout.
Yes.
With the now defunct Northern Colorado Hailstorm.
Yes. Not only that, he is the first player signed from a defunct team from the previous years.
Yep.
Since we've been, there have been, I think, almost 3 teams. There was Memphis. We didn't get anybody from Memphis.
No.
We didn't get anybody
But,
from San Diego from the
But
when
delving
they
in,
were,
like I said, as I mentioned,
or Central California and Flago. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
delving into that League
Yeah.
One side, Haruki Yamazaki
yes.
signed a 1-year deal with an option for 2026 to join Detroit City FC, another midfielder. Most of his play, or most of his contributions, came through the Jägermeister Cup
Yes,
last year.
or the Yegi Cup, as my old friends at the Seven Brother Bar used to say.
Yes, but his contributions came through in the Jägermeister Cup. In 9 games played, helping Northern Colorado Hailstorm win the Jägermeister Cup.
The Jägermeister Cup, yeah.
He contributed with 1 goal and 1 assist in the competition.
You're right.
So,
and not only that, this is also the first Asian player to play for DCFC.
Are we Celtic?
No, I'm talking about the men's side. We had a very popular female player on the women's side a couple of years ago. But yeah, this is the first men player from Asia
The reason why I asked, are we Celtic? You see an influx of Asians on that team, especially from the Japan League. I mean, unfortunately, they just lost Kyogo. Recently, he just signed a transfer over. I can't remember this off the fly there, but a great goal scorer for Celtic, and of course we all know about Daisen Maeda, a fine contributor to the hoops as well, and they have played, they have gone the Asian route, but this guy, I mean, he has Japanese roots, but he did play a lot of his ball here in the States. He was a graduate of Oral Roberts University
in Tulsa, Oklahoma,
and played in a fine contributor in the Southern League. He's very highly touted. John Dorsey has Rava. He's one of the players. He was one of the players to watch that was a free agent, and to see where he goes. And a lot of people are excited about him coming over to Detroit City and see what he can contribute there. And now you see the midfield is starting to fill up. I mean, we had some major losses, obviously Maxey being one of them. James Murphy, who
signed to Indianapolis along with Elvis Amo.
Yeah. So we lose 2 players to,
and we faced them twice. Oh my!
Yeah, we lose.
The joy of being in the Eastern Conference.
The joy of being in the USL. Just put it that way. Speaking of which, Augustine Williams is now going to Pittsburgh now, so we get to see him twice a year.
I know. Did he play in DCFC or no?
No, he played for Indy
11.
For Indy last year, but now that was another one that you could veteran experience and all that stuff. But now he's on Bob Willie's side. Going forward there. We were just mentioning on the way there, as far as other USL transactions, Damian Laz is coming back. If you remember Damian Laz, the infamous Matador move against Connor Rutz at Keyworth Stadium in September. So he'll be coming back to he will be coming back on loan from Austin FC to Lou City this year.
Austin FC from the other league?
MLS.
Okay.
From MLS.
I see.
But
I'm sorry, I mentioned it's the other league. You know what we're talking about. And we have
the league I don't watch anyway, unless we're playing in open cup.
And incidentally, we have a little important news about another tournament. We'll get to that.
I was gonna say we'll get to that.
Okay.
Speaking of the Open Cup,
by the way, before one more thing, Brad Delwell, who used to play for DCFC, was signed to be the head coach of DCFC 2.
Dunwell played with Detroit City in 2022 in the first season of USL. And then he moved on. I think he played in League One, I believe it was, in the last couple of years. Or he moved on to USL League One. Retired from playing, but got a coaching gig with the 2 team that will be playing in the UPSL coming up this summer. So
UPSL, congratulations, Brad.
Yeah, congratulations, Brad, and welcome back home
Okay.
to the fold for Detroit
right.
City. We mentioned it a little bit ago, the Open Cup.
Okay.
New format for this year. We are, first off, as far as Detroit City FC goes, we will be playing in the 3rd round.
The 3rd round proper.
We will be hosting
Yes.
said 3rd round game.
Yes.
As far as our qualification, because we were a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference. So the top 4 teams in the East, the top 4 teams in the West, they all are going to be they will be guaranteed hosting a home game.
Yes. That would be exciting. That would, because we know we excel in the U.S. Open Cup when it's at home. We beat Columbus, our first USL team we beat. We beat Michigan Stars.
Michigan Stars.
I know.
The defunct Michigan Stars.
Bye.
Bye. I wouldn't say defunct Michigan Stars. I think they're still around in that league that is not in the United States Soccer Federation.
Oh, I know.
We know what league that is. We won't mention it by name.
All right. All right.
But our first round, we'll be facing. We'll be hosting the game. It'll probably be. We'll be drawn with a winner from the 2nd round of competition.
Yes.
And then the MLS teams will be coming in the round of 32.
Yes.
16 teams from that league that were assigned, and I'm not going to say they qualified. They were assigned because certain teams, such as
I have a rant.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Right.
Certain teams such as LAFC will not be part of the tournament because of obligations to the 2 other competitions, which include Leagues Cup and the CONCACAF Champions Cup. CONCACAF Champions Cup is
more important than the League Cup, which nobody watched the League Cup.
Oh, right, brother. Pretty much. But anyway, but your thoughts on this MLS situation yet again?
Well, number one, it's a little bit better. You have 18 of the 27 teams, not counting the Canadian team, Vancouver, Toronto FC, and Montreal. It's a little bit better, but I'm about to say this, Rand. Do you think they're not letting a lot of teams that play at the same time because of one team and one player? And he's my favorite player of all time, Inter Miami, and some guy named Messi.
I think it personally. Half the reason why I don't watch the league anyway, because I really don't care for him personally.
All right, that's the only thing. That's the only thing we disagree. I like Messi as a player overall during his career,
I think he's sold out to Garber.
Oh.
It's all Don Garber.
You know what?
In my personal view, it's all Don Garber.
It's only 4 games when you enter the league properly to get to the Open Cup.
Yeah.
And I don't know why the league decided to protect their world greatest player of all time. One of my favorites. You know what I mean? We can mention Maradona and the late great Pele. But honestly, it's 4 freaking games. And you're saying, well, we can't do it because we're doing this for Apple TV. Nobody's buying anyway. Did you see the ratings for the finals? It was piss poor, for God's sake. Come on!
From what I hear, I think the USL Championship final actually, sand streaming and all that stuff. Don't know what the Paramount Plus numbers are because it was obviously on Paramount Plus as well.
Yeah. And on over-the-air television on
CBS broadcast.
Yes.
But the draw for the final on Fox was less than the CBS draw for the USL Championship final between Colorado Springs and Rhode Island.
And that was a better game than that.
I personally, I did not watch the MLS game.
And personally, I did not watch because I forgot about it and I was out that night. Sorry.
And some supporters groups are doing the boycott League Cups thing again.
I know.
And which is understandable, and it's all about the sport. The thing
I kind of remember one picture during one of the League Cup finals, League Cup quarterfinals, semifinals. Somebody had the nerve to put U.S. Open Cup over the word League Cup, which I was laughing hysterically. Because, like I said, I don't know why MLS decided to be petty. Said, oh no, some of the best teams will be playing in the League Cup. Like, honestly, Nobody cares about the League Cup. I can't care.
It's all it's all about the brand because MLS created this Leagues Cup with Liga MX to get more exposure.
Which is not one of the best leagues in the world. It was about, I think, 20 years ago, but now
Liga MX is fine on its own. They don't need if they want
No.
there's always if you're going to have a Leagues Cup, why don't you have a Leagues Cup with USL or do what USL's doing?
the Jaggy Cup
with the Jägermeister Cup
or the Jaggy Cup.
because you're bringing more in as far as exposure to lower league teams,
Yes.
such as the USL one sides, obviously in the competition, the 12 teams that are in that, plus the 24 teams that are in the USL Championship,
Yes.
participating in the tournament, and that's a good thing as far as that goes. I think it's going to be great for the league.
Oh yeah.
Now, as far as television exposure and all that stuff, we're not sure if it's going to be ESPN Plus is going to be doing most of these games, or if CBS Sports Golazo is going to. It'd be even better now with the contract to get a couple of these Jägermeister Cup games, and even the final would be great if it was on like CBS Sports Network.
You're right. Well, unfortunately, I may be dumping cable soon. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
even getting a Saturday, well, it probably wouldn't be a Saturday game. It'd probably be like a midweek game.
A midweek game,
because
we're still doing the schedule.
And also, like I said,
you're right.
To get it on, one of the major, cable.
And it's going to be everywhere. You don't have to play.
outlets.
It's going to be on everywhere.
Yep.
You don't have to pay. What was it? $99 added for inflation. I don't know.
But it's part of the season ticket package, which is nice.
Oh yeah,
that's
tell me about
that's
it.
why the schedule is so short.
I know.
Okay.
And by the way, I can't wait when we get to Portland. House of Pine. It's a fancy name, by the way.
Newest team, one of the two new teams in USLW. Well, I'd like to wish congratulations to a legacy franchise in American soccer. Our rivals, the Tampa Bay Rowdies, are celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. They came into existence in 1974, started playing in 1975 in the NASL, and of course there were some great battles with the New York Cosmos back in the day. The players. You could name them. They can roll off the tongue.
Yes.
Rodney Marsh being one of them.
Oh yeah, Roddy Marsh. Yeah,
one of the greatest. One of the greatest players that played for both England and the United States.
Oh yeah,
and in the United States, a good flux of talent coming from England and overseas to join the league. Obviously, Pele, as you know, with the Cosmos and stuff like that. Franz Beckenbauer, Trevor Francis.
The late Trevor Francis from Detroit Express.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I got this idea from you because you posted on Blue Sky, which you can follow on Soccer 9 Detroit. I'm on Blue Sky as well.
Mm-hmm.
Better than that, or say whatever. I can't remember. I have it over.
Yeah.
You mentioned it would be very cool if they allowed it for a throwback game with the Rowdies in their original 70 kicks against us in our original Detroit Express 70 kick.
It's kind of a variation. I'll show you that right now.
Okay.
It's kind of a variation because. Obviously you got to deal with sponsorships and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So this is what I created on, Photoshop and all that stuff. Notice the logo. It's not the normal crest.
No.
It's the other crest. It's what I call the retro crest.
Oh yes.
And the retro crest, being on the side, of course, you're
orange for the Express.
Yep, and then it's just basic. You're not going to have the striped jersey, or you're not going to have the
sponsorship.
The flat orange jersey with Express. What are you going to put Detroit City FC across the front?
No, you can put it on the side of the sleeve saying this is the Detroit City FC. We're honoring our old history.
What are you going to put the new sponsor on there?
Now, remember, they didn't have sponsors back in the 70s. That was
this would be a sponsored jersey here. We're going with last year's sponsor. We had Metro Detroit Chevy dealers last year, but we're going with that.
Okay.
The main brand.
The main brand 70s style.
And of course, with the Adidas.
Yeah, that's right.
The old school Adidas logo.
Adidas logo. Yeah, right.
But we were looking at some other teams and other, other connections. As
And
far
I
as
did
that
my
goes.
research from teams that Tampa Bay is playing as part of their 50th season, and believe it or not that much.
No,
There are
really.
only 9 teams that had an NASL version 1.0. That's the first version, not the second version. They also have a USLC team, and not much.
Yeah.
There wasn't any team in Birmingham, Charlottesville. That would be small. Charleston, yes. Indy, Phoenix didn't have to. Even Sacramento and Pittsburgh.
No.
There was
Or Louisville.
not even down. It was
Pittsburgh soccer. I mean, for the much rich history as they had, they never had an NASL team. Believe it or not.
And mostly with the big cities like Detroit and New York and the Aztecs and Chicago Sting, and don't forget Canadian cities like the Whitecaps and Seattle and Portland and Toronto. And there was a franchise in Montreal.
I mean, there was one that we were going back and forth on Messenger about. It was Monterey Bay being close to the San Jose and all that stuff. Can't really do San Jose Earthquakes because there's the San Jose Earthquakes in MLS. So. You're
right, and ML will say, "Oh no, you can't use our name; it's still active." And you mentioned in our discussion that the owners of the MLS franchise is close connections to the owners who used to do NASL.
A lot of them can. A lot of them are because of obviously monetary status and whatnot. Obviously, the Lamar Hunt Cup. I mean, the Hunt owned the Columbus Crew for quite a while.
Did I know that?
Yep.
And he used to own a lot of franchise before he dropped some of the franchise back in the early days of MLS.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so, this is very true. Yeah.
But looking back at some of those jerseys, let's do some correlation
here.
Okay. First off,
if you ask Tampa Bay and ask their opponent this season, would you like to do a throwback game? It's our 50th anniversary. Would you like to do that?
Yeah.
What would it be looking like?
Okay, so first off, let's go with something that's regional, because I mean Loudoun is in the DMV.
Yes, Maryland, the district, and Virginia.
Yes. So you figured maybe associate a little bit, probably with the Washington Diplomats.
Yes, remember that team?
That was the team that basically merged with Detroit Express back in '80, and the Detroit Express were no more in the NASL.
Right,
they ended up becoming an ASL team after that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But you look at the jerseys.
Oh my!
Pretty close.
The depth. Holy
They're pretty close to what Loudoun would wear.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you probably have your sponsor in front and all that.
Yeah,
stuff I know. Because everything's monetized.
And the numbers were large back then.
Yes, they were.
Oh, my.
And you don't see numbers on the jerseys that often.
You would see it in the back, you know what I mean?
Or even on the side, like that Cosmo.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, the depths. Burnt orange or something like that.
It was red.
Red and white, yeah. Also, they had a second team. Some would credit the downfall of the NASL version 1.0, Team America. It only lasted a year, and they played in Washington, D.C. Remember?
I think they had a sponsorship with a cigarette company.
We don't want to even know.
Yeah. So, as far as Miami goes, there were two teams in Miami. Miami Toros and the Fort Lauderdale Strikers in the general area.
You're right.
So, and there was also a version of the Fort Lauderdale Strikers in USL prior to the modern era of the USL Championship.
I see.
So now, you figure if the Miami FC, I mean, a separate entity, if they wanted to go something like that, I prefer the Strikers over Miami Toros here.
They had a large stripe back then with the word Strikers and the number on the crest there, on the shoulder there. It's just like, holy wow. And they had the
legendary George Best.
The late great George Best from Liverpool fame.
Actually, Man U.
Sorry, Man U. Sorry, what I was thinking.
Yep.
And don't forget, he was on the World Cup team in '66.
Yep. That great team that
near the tail end of his career.
Yep. Along with some great players on that team, Bobby Charlton, also a Man U player that I think Dennis Law was also part of that team as well.
Yes.
And we just lost Dennis Law not too long ago. Manchester legend. He played for both City and United.
Okay.
So, moving on, we got the team from Hartford.
Hartford, yes. Hartford Athletic FC. They have the Kelly Green and all that.
They sport the colors of the Whale.
Mm-hmm.
If you know who the Whale are, if you don't know who the Whale are, where have you been in the last 40 years?
Hartford Whalers.
Exactly, and they do the brass bonanza sometimes, as far as when they score goals and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a team back in 75, 76 called the Centennials.
The Connecticut Centennials or the Hartford Centennials.
Yes, and it was an homage to the
Bicentennial in 1976.
Yes, so their jersey pretty basic.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Lame.
And they had the number on the one side, on that side, and then
they have stars on their sleeves, the striped stars. Oh my God!
And then and of course basically across in the in the proper position.
You're right.
Put that one. I mean,
proper position like we see all the players wear today in the USA.
Yeah.
And
so if they were, I don't know if they would go with that route because they're pretty much tied in with.
You know what? After seeing that, my one-word question would be no. No.
Nah, I don't think they would. I don't think they would honor that.
We would honor the green, for God's sake.
San Antonio had a team called the San Antonio Thunder.
Yes. Back
in 75, 76.
Yes, Bicentennial, yeah.
And talk about, look at these.
Oh my God!
This one,
I'm looking at that. It's just like
would the U.S. national team wear something like this?
No.
I say they might.
No.
I mean, this part about as good as the denim jerseys back in '94.
The 13 colonies supporting San Antonio. Remember the Alamo and all that. Oh, brother, not even close.
Would Alexis Morales wear this jersey? Probably.
Probably so. Yeah. Don't get me started on Alexis Morales. Okay.
The antagonist of our existence here.
Yeah, and by the way, Hamtramck is better than Cranbrook, for God's sake. That's a private school. By the way. I'm graduating from Hamtramck High. What do I say?
Hey, and knowingly enough, they are also the Cosmos. Just saying. Anywho, San Antonio had a team called Las Vegas. Las Vegas. They had a team back in the day called the Quicksilvers.
Yes, the LA Quicksilvers,
and those kids look pretty decent.
Decent, yeah. From looking at the Quicksilver logo, it reminded me of the original water bottling firm. You know what I'm talking about, but it looked decent, not too flashy or weird. And here a couple of the silverback with the great legendary late great Pele. You know what I mean? I think I'll get to that with our final team. But they look pretty decent. I don't know if the Vegas Lights, with all their flashing glam, would do a sort of retro style 70s jerseys or something like that.
Jose Batista would have to sign. I don't know if he would have to sign off on that or kick that, but okay. I mean, that could be a possibility.
Possibly, yeah.
A lot of these are possibilities as well.
Possibly, yeah.
Now this team.
Oh yes.
Okay. Now they are current, as you know, as FC Tulsa.
Yes.
They were called the Tulsa Roughnecks FC in the
70s, and they were
originally they were the Tulsa Roughnecks played in the 70s in the NASL, played for quite a few seasons, and Tulsa FC honored their tradition by calling themselves Tulsa Roughnecks FC in the first few years. Now they're known as FC Tulsa.
FC Tulsa with their fancy 1930 design, by the way. You know what I mean?
Art
Deco style, by the way.
Art Deco design.
You're right, yeah.
But I mean, obviously, the Roughnecks do have some USL history.
Yeah.
Played in the modern era.
I know.
Before the name changed to FC Tulsa.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But back in the 70s, the 78 team.
Oh my!
Look at those kids.
Look at those crazy kids. They have the number on their chest and all that. You have the Crust logo telling that we're rough guys. You know what I mean? I think it's a pretty okay, but the numbers are too big. You know what I mean? And what I think is was the soccer league trying to eliminate the football players, because remember they wore those big numbers identifying yourself as a player.
You saw a lot of it. Even the Detroit Cougars back in the 1968 season that they played in.
Yes.
had the big numbers on their chest, across the chest. I don't know if they had the Cougar logo like they.
No.
I mean, if you remember the kits from the Glen Torren game, a few years back, I don't think they had those kits back then. But I mean, I don't think they had the name on the. But if you remember those kits, they did have the Detroit Cougars logo on those kits. I think I don't know who the sponsor. I think it was Chevy that was the sponsor.
Yeah, Chevy was the sponsor. You're right.
Chevy dealers were.
Or Metro Detroit Chevy dealer, the sponsor. And then normally you don't see it except for baseball players, but their numbers are small.
One more we got to look at here: Colorado Springs.
Yes.
Now there was a team, a short-lived team called the Denver Dynamo.
Oh yes. We don't have any pictures because I presume it was tough to find any. Yeah.
This is the only thing I could find as far as the kit goes for the Denver Dynamo.
Lame. It looked like one of those work shirts or something like that.
Yeah.
Denver D. With the what the hell with the blue bar, for God's sake? What the hell with the blue bar, for God's sake?
Many of you Gray Skulls might have known of a team called the Detroit Wheels.
Oh yeah, I remember from the now one-way defunct challenger or failed challenger to the NFL, the World Football League. That's a story for another day, but
that's pretty close. I mean, that's pretty close. Yeah, I always have to arc it up to have the wheels design on it, but.
And their home game was not played in Detroit. They were played at the campus of Eastern Michigan University in Ypsilanti.
Oh my God! But
my God!
I don't think Colorado would go with something like that.
And by the way, one more note: after their only season failed in '77, guess where they win, and they're still active as an indoor team.
I think weren't they in Minnesota?
No, they were the San Diego Sockers. Sockers, S-O-C, yeah. The San Diego Sockers. Andy Chapman played there. The guy, and they're still
an indoor team in the MASL.
In the men's league,
yes. In the MASL themselves.
Okay.
One more thing before we go.
Okay.
Crane's brought earlier this week. The first pictured renderings of what the new stadium might look like.
Yes, before you do, I have to, and you're about to say it, but I'll add the disclaimer. This is just the original concept. They listed in the bottom, after seeing it, concept in development.
Yep.
So this is not the final thing. What I learned from other information, they have sent the variations of the final plan. We don't know. You don't know. Yep. Nobody knows. Even the majors or Garrett don't know.
Nobody knows at this point.
Yes.
I'm sure it'll come out in due time. Obviously, Crane's pushing this stadium story. They've been pushing the stadium story ever since the announcement came last year.
Back in May.
As far as the stadium goes, they've written a couple articles about it.
You're right.
They're even what I'm calling a hit piece as far as like, how can a team that's losing money afford to build a new stadium? Oakland Roots is playing in the Coliseum, and they're
because the
millions of dollars.
You're right.
Themselves. So
you're right.
Soccer
and by the way,
business.
And by the way, this was back. They drew up back in August of last year. So this is not the final plan.
So we're looking at the northeast aerial.
From Michigan Avenue.
Actually, it is looking. You look at I-75 going into. I-75, I-90, the interchange there.
You're right.
Don't see the railroad tracks there on this one.
No.
We don't, but they're there.
They're there, yeah.
They're there, right under the bridge there on 20th Street. But that would be the railroad tracks. Scoreboard would be on the north. And it will southwest end.
And it will be a better looking scoreboard. We like the keyword, but
like I said, mind you, these plans are
not final. No.
But they do plan on adding a parking structure right next to the stadium. Looking at a 685 space parking structure at minimum. 240,000 square feet right on the premises there of the old Southwest Detroit Hospital.
Which will go the first thing when they get the go-ahead. Yes.
Yep. And hopefully we're looking at shovels in the ground by the time this white stuff gets out of here.
Yeah. By the way, from looking at the initial plan, and just to let you know, it's not final. What do you think about the stadium so far?
I'm looking at it. If this is the concept that they're going to go with, I like the concept because it's simple, it's basic, it's it's not far fetched. I mean, Lynn Family Stadium, don't get me wrong, one of the best facilities in the USL. This kind of encompasses the idea of possibly looking a little bit
of Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville.
Yes, but it is a
but
classic design, and I like the fact that, you got the train tracks in the back.
So we could say it's a mother forking train. It's a mother forking train.
You don't want to get that tag on there. But you get the idea.
Yeah, get the idea. Yeah.
But I mean, great. I mean, big.
It looks great.
If you're a subscriber to Cranes, read the article. If you want, feel free to share it on the Faithful page or whatever it is. As far let's say an
unofficial,
unpaywalled link.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
All right,
I appreciate.
But like I said, this is not the final plan. They have drawn up the boundary. It's in the city. They know.
Yep.
City knows. We don't know. But once the vote come up, I'll probably be there listening it, and I'll bring it as breaking news.
That'd be great.
Thank you. Well, hey, I'm mobile a lot.
Yes,
literally.
Even though I'm, I work a lot.
And just remember, I know news really good, like all the broadcasters in this darn little city. You know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. But we have a soccer game, as you know, tonight. Detroit City FC getting set to take on Indiana FC. We will have post-match coverage immediately. A little bit following, we'll go down on the side, hopefully talk to a couple of the players.
Let's hope we don't sound like Cylon, for God's sake, from the last one we did.
We'll keep it down.
I
think we were a little bit loud on that. I apologize for the technical. I mean, because some of our post-match coverage from the last game here, we were a little bit loud. It's distorted, and
don't forget the crowd was loud too. So
Yeah. So we were trying to pick up our voices and try to get the music and stuff. But
by the way, the Cylon, was from Battlestar Galactica. Remember that series?
Oh my God.
Lauren Green.
Jeez, pizza.
I
think it rivaled Buck Rogers back in the day.
It was okay, but I'll say both are a little bit better, but both are worthy.
I remember Duck Dodgers.
Duck Dodgers?
Yes.
When was that?
That was a Looney Tunes cartoon from back in the 60s.
Looney Tunes. Yeah, I know.
Daffy Duck as Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century.
And he was trying to say to Bug Buddy, "I'm better than you, Bugs."
He had some great cartoons.
I know.
They both had great cartoons. But anyway, until we meet again after hours,
I'm Steve.
And I'm Matt Cat saying keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the galaxy.